John Dearman. I'm the classical artist advisor at the Dario, and today we're honored to have Adam Del Monte, a great flamenco guitarist based in Los Angeles. But your father didn't teach you guitar per se, or a little bit?
Yes, he did. He was my first teacher. He was a self-taught guitarist. He played a little jazz, a little flamenco, a little classical. And the first year, he kind of taught me orally the way you do in flamenco. It was later in England that I studied music. And so I kind of have this a little bit of a schizophrenic upbringing.
Yeah.
On one hand, very extreme, sort of wild, unschooled. You know, the flamenco, you don't really learn it academically, at least not back then, you know, in the 70s when I was studying it. Later that when I lived in Spain, where I really got seriously into flamenco, I lived in Granada as a child, and studying in the caves of Monte with various gypsies.
The caves?
The caves of Sacromonte. It's nothing like caves in Afghanistan. It's very nice inside. It's actually very nicely decorated. It's pretty spacious.
But they really are caves.
They are absolutely caves.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And you can't. There are holes in the mountain, but you have to make it. You have to make those caves with a very long, sort of curved, delicate pickaxe, and you have to delicately, chip away in the mountain. You can't just blow this thing up. And it was kind of in my teens later on that I met Pepe Habichuela, who's of course a famous flamenco master.
From a big and renowned family.
Flamenco clan,
artists.
absolutely.
Yeah,
his older brother, and then all the brothers, all the sons and grandsons now are all playing guitar and mandola and all different singing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's I would say my main influence in terms of, he's like my role model because I was lucky to be very close to him. And just learn from him and be with him and watch him rehearse with my father. They used to play together. My father having played the cimbalum, flamenco on the cimbalum, which is a Romanian instrument.
Yeah.
And so I would just be privy to the rehearsals, and then he would just show me licks, and and just kind of show me things, very, very naturally.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I moved to Madrid at age 19, I was hanging out sort of with Gerardo Núñez, with Rafael Riqueni, and El Bola, and just the various flamenco guitarists from the scene at the time in the 80s. And again, you just kind of soak it all up, and then you exchange ideas, and it's just living flamenco in a different way. It's not as fun as in the caves, because it's much more tight-knit community. In Madrid, you have that metropolis feeling, so things are a little bit more edgy, and there is that big city stress element in your life. So it's not as cozy, if you will, as Granada. But nevertheless, that is a very important part of the flamenco scene as well.
Yeah, I know you're doing a lot of different things besides playing as a soloist. So you want to tell us about your current projects, recordings?
My up-and-coming recording project is with my flamenco ensemble, my flamenco band. My brother is the bass player, and then other members of his old fusion band from Israel are drummer and wind player. Alex Acuna will be on percussion, a well-known percussionist, of course. So that's kind of my new baby. It's basically obviously flamenco based. I'm very careful to tag any other specific style to it. There are some jazz elements, there are some world music elements, Middle Eastern elements, East European elements, Indian elements. I mean, it's a real, again, some of these words have sort of different connotations that have become a little bit passé, but you got to use words in some way, shape, or form to describe something. But there's definitely a contemporary edge and modern feel to the treatment of some traditional forms, and then some other forms that are not so traditional, yet have a flamenco feel about them because of the nature of the fact that they come from the guitar, and that is pretty much the language that I'm most comfortable expressing myself with.
And then the Fire Trio?
The Fire Trio is something that I've been a part of for about a year and a half now, with Kenton Youngstrom, the founder, I think, and Gian Riley. That's another aspect of what I like to do, chamber music. It's more classical based, but not limited to. We all contribute with our own compositions, and all three of us also improvise at times. And then I have a flamenco guitar concerto which I composed, and a performed it several times in 2008.
Berkeley, didn't you? Is that right?
Actually, well, the world premiere was about 10 years ago in Jordan Hall in Boston with the BMOP, Boston Modern Orchestra Project.
Okay.
And then since then I've rewritten it, I've reworked some things, and I just did it in Israel and then in Los Angeles at the Ford Theater. And I'll be doing it again at the GFA this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh.
And of course the didactic side of what I do, I teach at USC, but I also have an online lesson page. It's newlearningvision.com.
Adam, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, John.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Good.
Thank
See
you.
you again.